Good morning, white people. How are we doing? So, absolutely tremendous sleep last night. Guys, I'm sleeping like an absolute king lately. We got 8 hours and 3 minutes sleep last night. And if you check that there, 54 beats per minute, my resting heart rate. That's the lowest my resting heart rate has been in 5 years. I'm not even kidding you. I'm not joking. Like 54, 53 beats per minute. I haven't seen my heart rate that low in genuinely 5 years. Must be that little bit of cardio I'm doing. And to be honest, it's because I'm on cruise, right? Anytime I'm on cruise, my resting heart rate always goes way down and I always sleep way better. I was actually having a conversation with Max about this in the gym the other day. He's who I'm going to be training with today, so you're going to see that video. You know, he's running and has ran like much lower doses for, like the best part of a year and a half, I would say. And he's made really good progress, right? Yes, his volume has had to be lower. Yes, his recovery isn't going to be as amazing as if he was fully blown on cycle. However, he's got some kind of like dosaging, kind of like test metabolizing things he's trying to resolve himself, and that's why he's running lower doses. But like he has made incredible progress now. Obviously, his genetics are pretty fucking elite, right? But it's just food for thought, right? That like the basic fundamental things are still the most important things. Like your sleep, your training, your nutrition, you know, taking care of yourself. That is always going to be the basis and the foundation of your progression. Now, don't get me wrong, when I am full blown on cycle, I do get a lot stronger and I do get a lot bigger and I do make a lot more progress. But there is a trade-off for like sleep and how I feel, and obviously how, you know, healthy your body actually is. So yeah, it's a funny one. It's a funny one. It gives you food for thought. But this cruise is definitely like giving me a lot more confidence that way into the future, I will be a little bit more accepting of coming off cycle. Like I used to dread coming off cycle before in the past because my strength would go way down, like my recovery go way down, and it was just like I'd look absolutely terrible, like everything would just go to shit. This time around, I feel like I still look pretty good. My strength is still on point. I'm actually still progressing. I feel amazing. And there's actually more pros and cons. Like I'm actually really enjoying being on cruise for once. And I've never said that before. So yeah, now don't get me wrong. I'm looking forward to going back on cycle and putting on some serious fucking tissue as well. But stay tuned. So guys, we have got our HydroFlow here. What flavor, Chloe? Oh, blue bonbon today, absolute treat. Guys, I don't know, is this after taking the place of the lemon raspberry for me? It's hard to tell because we've ran out of lemon raspberry because we absolutely fucking raped that tub. I've still got like 6 other tubs here, but the lemon raspberry is like gone. But the blue bonbon, it's definitely number 2 at least. So you got to get on this if you haven't already. So we'll hydrate a little bit, but not too much because I got to head out the back now. I got to take my check-in photos for Cuba. Like I said yesterday, or in yesterday's video, this is exactly now 5 weeks since my last shot. Well, not my last shot, but my last like on cycle shot, you know what I mean? So it's 5 weeks on cruise technically. So we'll see how we're looking. Weighed in at 102.3 again this morning. So weight's been pretty consistent in the low 102s the last 3 days. And I imagine it'll probably stay that way for the rest of the week. And then I'll probably see another big spike up and then it'll stay in the 103s next week. That's kind of been how the trend has been going so far. But without further ado, I will leave that here so that I can take these pictures, drink this, and head upstairs and bang out a little bit of a power hour of work. Next on the agenda, guys, we've got our coffee. And today we're going to have a pistachio vanilla flavor. So these have been all the rage. Chloe's seen them all over TikTok. I tried to get them, but they were sold out online. But she got them in the Nespresso store in Leeds. And I'll tell you one thing, boys. They are unbelievable. The only shame is they're 80ml. So they only last like for a double espresso. But as far as the flavored pods go, these are absolutely next level. So what I'm actually going to do is just drink the 80ml one of this and then just make another large coffee and bring that upstairs with me. That's what I did the other day because the 80ml is never enough. A double espresso is okay if you're out the door to the gym, but in the morning you need a mug. All right, guys, 8:15. The sun is absolutely splitting the stones, and myself and Chloe have decided to go for a long little walk here. Hopefully you can hear me with the fucking sound of these cars in the background. But anyway, we did this yesterday, wasn't it yesterday? Yeah. We just went for a slightly longer walk in the morning. There's like a loop we do around here that we used to do all the time, to be fair, actually last year. But I just haven't done it in quite some time. It's about half an hour-ish. It's a good 4,500, 5,000 steps. So instead of breaking my walk up after my first meal, my second meal, because I'm training a little bit earlier today, I just said I would get the majority of them boxed off now. And because I quite enjoyed that walk yesterday, and it helps when the weather is pretty tremendous. And I did actually get
quite a lot of my check-ins boxed off nice and early this morning, so I don't feel like I'm in too much pressure or under too much pressure to get back to the rest of them. So yeah, look at this, guys. Absolute tremendous. I think I'm going to stop in the jet down the road, get myself a nice can of Monster, a nice cool can of Monster for the walk, and just enjoy the sunshine. So we've gone with the Ultra Rosa. This is Chloe's favourite one. And I actually, she hasn't had a Rosa in ages, or a Monster in ages.
I haven't had a Monster in about, what, 2 years?
Yeah, you haven't had a Monster in a very long time. But I do quite like these. I don't think they're the best, but they're up there. Right, we'll hit you with a taste test. I'll just have to set this bad boy up here. Go. Oh yeah, that's good now. That is good, I must say. Beautiful. That'll keep us going.
Alright guys, check-ins are done. We've got a couple other execution clips and shit to get through, but first we are going to neck our pre-workout meal, which is 120 grams of Conte white chocolate hazelnut core. Unbelievable. With some cinnamon, sweet cinnamon of course, from Tesco's, 120 grams of strawberries, and then we've also got our whey drip, our whey paste over here as well, which we're going to drizzle on top. Let me just set you up here and we can do that. I'm on the phone here, guys, because I left my DJI upstairs charging, but we get you with a little whey drip horniness here. Oh yeah, look at that. Boom. Conte caramel biscuit here, because we are all out of salted caramel, unfortunately, but the caramel biscuit is a second best, guys. It is a second best. It is still a solid 8.5 out of 10 as a drip, if not a 9, to be honest. They're both very similar. The salted caramel does hit a little bit different, but caramel biscuit is still good. So guys, you know the drill. DMAC 10 if you want to pick yourself up some Conte bits. I would recommend the cream of rice, to be honest. You gotta get the cream of rice. If you're a fan of your cream of rice and you enjoy your cream of rice, the Conte white chocolate hazelnut, it's just a go. It's just a go. So we get this meal in. I'll watch a little bit of YouTube, but then I will head straight back upstairs to get the rest of the work boxed off before a nice early session. So pull day today. Myself and Max are probably going to amalgamate our session a little bit, and then I'm actually going to do cardio afterwards. So I think I'll be pretty hungry by the time I get back from the gym today. Yes, guys, how are we? So we are in for pull with Max. Our session structure is pretty much the exact same, to be honest, only that I have one extra set on lat and on upper back work. So we're going to start off with 2 pull down variations for the lats, 2 row variations for the lats, or 2 sets, sorry, for lats, and then we're going to move on to the upper back work afterwards. So Max has his preference for what he wants to do for the lat work, which is going to be the Citadel single arm pull down, and then we're going to do the Cybex seated row, eagle row. I'm all game for that, to be honest, as normally I do the prime single arm pull down and I just do a single arm cable row with the D handles. So very similar movement patterns, ones that aren't alien to me. So I'm game to kind of swap those in and do what Max wants to do today. And then the upper back work, we're going to run with what I want to do, which is going to be the prime extreme row, and then probably just that low to high cable row over there, or high to low cable row over there. So we'll get stuck into the session, guys. I might talk a little bit about it as we're kind of going through, but I'll just set up the camera, record the footage, and anything good that comes from the session will come from the session. So we'll hop on now, do a couple of warm-ups and get cracking. Beautiful stuff. What's that? I don't know. I haven't actually done this first ever in the session. So that's 70 on top.
Did you ever do a pull down to start?
I normally do a pull down to start.
That one?
But I'll do, yeah. So I've done like the pin loaded Nautilus. I've done the plate loaded Nautilus. I've done this. And I think anytime I've had this as a pull down, it's been second.
Right, okay.
Maybe. Or like, maybe I might have done it before, but it was when I first moved here.
Yeah.
So I've nothing to gauge off. I have 50 kilos down on my logbook. But I think that's from having,
You have a lot.
I have 50 kilos down on my logbook. So like, two and a half plates. But I think that's from like second or third in the session.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think this,
like mate, it massively drops off.
yeah.
Go back up doing like another exercise, you know what I mean?
Huge. This will be heavy for me though, I'd say. So 70 on top, 15 in the middle. That's what, it's
I'm like-
just over 4 plates.
I'm constantly battling that middle ground between like feeling in all the right places, you know, in form and everything.
But then going heavy enough.
So like, yeah, mate, effectively, this whole idea of time under tension,
Yeah.
that isn't what builds muscle. It's mechanical tension.
Yeah.
And in my head, I'm like, yes, okay, you've got to feel it and you've got to connect to make sure that the tension is on the right muscle or where you want it.
Yeah.
But ultimately, load is what's going to make you grow.
Yeah.
Like,
I know. And my back needs to come up a lot, mate, especially my lats. So,
biggest dudes, mate, strong as shit.
and what we just spoke about as well, in terms of like the tension, right? I think holding and being stretched by heavy load, that makes such a difference to lat growth, more so than like, you know, the shortened.
Mate, look at Reese, right? I think Reese.
Yeah.
Like Reese Fairlight. I think.
Yeah.
Look how he lifts weight. Right?
Yeah, man.
He's
Look how fucking big he is.
strong, mate. He's
I literally said this to Chloe 2 nights ago, right? I said, fucking hell, say what you want about how Reese trains, but since he's cut down, he looks fucking huge.
massive.
Massive. He's grown everywhere.
Yeah, loads. And it's like he's always got control of the weight, but he's shifting. But he's just not. He's not doing it really like with 20. It's not uber accurate, but he's got control of it.
It works though.
Yeah.
Now look, he's probably a bit of a freak as well, but
Right,
not a massive freak, but
possibly, or maybe you're just taking a lot of fucking drugs as well, or maybe
he says he's not, but he says he's not, but now
like retrospectively, like yes, okay, you're not taking 4 grams like JP does.
Yeah.
But fucking 2
But,
gram a gear.
mate, in my last push-up, I was taking a lot of drugs, and in this push-up, I'm going to be taking a lot of drugs. So like, I need to make sure that like I fucking just rinse myself to get the growth. Now I did in the last push-up, but I need to.
I think honestly, mate, like from personal experience, don't go too crazy.
Do you know what though, right? I felt better, man.
On
I always go off how I feel, and I just felt better.
when you say feel like what?
I felt better. Like physically, mentally as well. Physically, aggression in the gym, training performance, how, like, I just, especially for me with the test, right? With the way like my hormones work. Once I get up above a certain dosage of test, I feel superhuman. And it agrees with me so much.
Yeah.
So, right.
Well, let's go. Nice. Take 3 more, clean, and then manhandle it. 1, 2. That's 8. Come on, get aggressive. Yes. Yes. Come on. Oh. Nice. Yeah.
Beautiful. Right guys, next up we've got the Cybex Eagle single arm row. So normally in this session I do my row variation first, my pull variation second. So just switching it up today, which I don't mind really, to be honest. It's just going to mean I have to reduce the load on this one a little bit. I'm going to go with 3 sets on this today. Normally I do 3 sets on my row and then afterwards do 2 sets of my pull down. Today 2 sets of the pull down first, but I'm going to do 3 sets in the row instead of doing 3 sets on that. So I'm going to go first there, Max is going to go after me. We're just having a conversation there on the pull down about how you kind of have to find that balance when it comes to back training between having your form and execution up to scratch to a certain degree that you can feel everything, but then at the same time not losing so much of the intensity and the gripping and ripping and the shifted fucking heavy load that you need to grow your back in the first place, because mechanical tension is obviously what builds muscle, guys. And yes, you need to feel that tension, but load is going to be, you know, the biggest fucking way that we're going to drive that mechanical tension up in order to grow. So yeah, having a good conversation about that there now, and we probably will have another good couple of conversations as we run through the session. So do a couple of warm-ups on this now, and then I'll catch you for the working set.
Right, when we go left arm here. All right, guys, next up we've got the prime extreme row. So our first upper back variation. 3 sets here, starting off load that like 75 top, 25 mid, and then we're obviously just gonna keep scaling it up to the top peg as we move along. I'm not gonna lie, my lats are feeling absolutely torched after that Cybex Eagle row, as I haven't done it in a while before that, but it feels good. So hopefully it doesn't take away from the upper back strength too much here, even though I don't think it will. Let me just see, is this set up correctly? It's not, as Max had some different settings to me, so I'll have to make sure it's set up for my height. Just as well I didn't strap myself in and get doing the reps there. But yeah, right, I need to hit record on my phone. I just pressed record.
Oh, you're recording on that stuff now.
I'm recording on the both of them, so fucking...
Content wanker.
Fuck.
No assist.
Alright guys, the last exercise up here, we've got this high to low row for the upper back. So it's kind of like Teres, kind of almost like a little bit of rear delt row as well. But I really, really rate this. It's kind of like one of those exercises that I used to see people do, thinking like, what the fuck is that? That looks terrible. And then I tried that and it actually feels pretty good. So hits the upper back like nothing I've ever really done before. It must be the angle or something, I'm not sure. But yeah, we'll do 2 sets here, and then that is the back work wrapped up. 3 sets of rear delts afterwards, and then that is a wrap. So we'll go upstairs, do some cardio afterwards, and then job's done. Alright guys, last exercise of the day here. Nautilus rear delt fly. 3 sets here of 12 to 20 reps. I like high reps on rear delts. So we'll bang these out nice and quick. Upstairs for cardio, and we're all done.
How are we doing, guys? So pull with Max wrapped up. I didn't really talk much during that session, apologies, but I was recording some sets for Instagram and recording on this DJI for the YouTube as well. So like there's just so much faffing about with the 2 tripods, and obviously when you're training pull, you've got a lot of single arm work. So I have to do my sets, Max to do his sets, and I doubt the 2 of us wanted to be in the gym for the whole entire day. So I didn't want to be taking too long out of Max's time, or out of my own time, to be honest, just fucking yapping away. So hopefully there was some semblance of a session and some information in there. But anyway guys, gym session done, cardio done, and it is 1:45, so I'm not used to being wrapped up, everything like that, nice and early. Got all check-ins done before I left the house as well. Because I knew I was training early with Max, kind of gave me that sense of urgency to like really make sure I wasn't faffing about in between tasks, and I got through everything nice and quickly. Now I imagine I probably will have a couple of messages by the time I get home, but I'll obviously have a lot more time to get through those or do those, or I'll be able to get back to people a little bit quicker than I normally do, as normally I'm back from the gym at like 3. I don't get back to the desk till like 3:30, 4, because I'll be eating my post-workout meal. So yeah, I'll have the whole day free to myself now. So I'm gonna see if I actually like that and if I enjoy that, because to be honest, I felt fucking great training early today. You know, if it was up to me, that probably would be my preference, to be honest, to train after 2 meals, because I just feel like I'm an early morning person, right? And I used to always train first thing in the morning fasted, and I used to absolutely love it. You get up, you train first thing, you got the whole rest of your day free. And now I only train in the afternoon because I'm like, oh, I have to get all my work done, you know, before I go to the gym. Could I get it all done before training at 10:30? Maybe some days, maybe not other days. But even if I had 1 or 2 things to do when I got home in the mid-afternoon,
it might be the worst thing in the world. So yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of half thinking and debating on whether I should like adjust the time that I actually train at. Who knows? Who knows? We'll see. We might try it later on in the off season when it's a little bit more of a struggle to get like meals in and be productive and all that other sort of shit. But for now, guys, we're outside Tesco. I need to get fuel, fill up the car, and then I need to go into Tesco, get eggs, egg whites, oat milk for Chloe, a couple other small bits. We get home, eat the post-workout meal. And then that'll be most of the jobs done for the day. I've got a setup to do when I get home. It shouldn't be too bad. And yeah, guys. Oh, the heat. I can't deal with the heat. 26 degrees, not good.
Well, that's happening, guys. We are back and we are in the cockpit and I still cannot deal with the heat. Look at that shit. I'm absolutely sweating. I'm wet through. Anyway, guys, we've had a very, very productive 3 hours or so since I've been back from the gym. And I don't know, I could be feeling this earlier training time. I'm not going to lie. It was nice to actually go and have my fourth meal there about, 30, 45 minutes ago and have a big substantial meal and now know that I still have another 2 meals to eat for the remainder of the day. So that's absolutely lovely. Definitely not going to be struggling with my appetite at all today, that is for sure. So we've got the coffee on deck here. I was just doing a little bit of editing and we have a consultation call now to do at 6 p.m. So I've actually got to send that dude a link, Dave, one of the clients who actually did my Ignite in 8 challenge and then didn't stay on board for one-to-one, he was kind of humming and hawing about it, but now he's come back to me, he's messaged, he's reached out, and he's like, look, Dara, tried to do the gain of phase on my own, but I just don't know. Am I eating enough? Am I eating what I should? My training's all over the place. I've got no structure with it. Can you help me out? So, guys, don't be stubborn. Don't think you can do it all on your own, especially when it comes to a gaining phase. Losing body fat, guys, is the fucking easy part, okay? Building muscle is the difficult part. People think it's the other way around. People think they do their gaining phases on their own and they really need help and they really need accountability for a dieting phase. It's the complete opposite thing. If you're actually serious about building tissue, I mean, look, your first year or two going to the gym, guys, you can do whatever you want. You can eat whatever you want. You can pick up the weights. You're going to grow. Newbie gains. That's what happens. Beyond that point, if you really want to pack on some more size, you've got to be very specific and you've got to be very accurate with what you're doing, right? And this is where having experience and, most importantly, accountability with how you're handling things in the off season or in your gaining phase matters even more, because gaining phase for most people is do whatever I want in the gym, and just eat a load of shit. You still have to have your diet absolutely dialed in. You still got to make sure you are training super hard, if not even harder. And you need accountability, guys. You need accountability. So do not think that if you want to gain muscle, that it's going to be easy. You just do whatever you want. It requires even more dedication and discipline, in my opinion, than a dieting phase does. Getting lean is the easy part, guys. Anyway, that is my little ramble on that. So one thing I just want to cover, guys, just at the end of this video, that was something that I kind of thought about as I was watching back that footage there that me and Max kind of spoke about off camera that wasn't really in the video. And that's like training with different people and seeing how different people like approach their training and how their training has evolved, etc., etc. So basically today, I noticed that Max was going quite heavy for his lat work. And for me personally, I don't like to go too heavy on my lat work. And I kind of like to go, 12 plus reps, which is my favorite rep range for a lot of things on lat work. But that is probably because in the past, I haven't been able to connect with my lats. Like when I first started with Kuba, he taught me how to connect with my lats. I know exactly how to get my lats firing, how to connect with them now, yada, yada. So when I went heavier before in the past, and even sometimes in previous off seasons when I run numbers up and I go too heavy, I don't feel my lats. I don't get that connection in my lats, right? And I always went with higher rep ranges because of that. But am I limiting my growth from going to those higher rep ranges? Do you just need to grip and rip a little bit more? And you kind of do have to marry in the middle between, yes, good form and execution and tension, like I mentioned when I was on that Cypress Eagle row, but also just fucking lifting some heavy load around. Because there is a lot of guys that I see, online, and they do grip and rip, and they do just throw the weight around, and they're lifting heavy weight. And I feel like because they're stretching and they're under load and they're, they have so much tension on their back with that heavy load, they are breaking down a lot of muscle fibers and they are building a lot of tissue. So their form might not be textbook, but they're willing to train harder and just throw heavier load around. And as a result, that's probably giving them a good stimulus. Now, am I going to go fully, meathead, throw weight around sort of a style? Probably not. But should I, marry things in the middle a little bit more? Maybe. For me with back as well, when I first started training, I did a lot of barbell bent over rows. I did a lot of fucking meadow rows. I did a lot of pull-ups. I did all the old school bro stuff, and I absolutely loved it. And that's what grew my back. And I used to be able to connect with my upper back immensely. And now I'm like, so isolated and focused and doing all these single arm exercises and stuff. But I know how to connect with my back now. So I would like to probably do some like more heavier lower back loaded exercises, some barbell bent over rows, some standard T-bar rows, maybe some meadow rows, with like some heavier load, and just like, use the tools that I have now in terms of connecting with my back and kind of throw it around and just see what happens. I would like to be able to do that. I don't think Kuba would be too much of a fan of that, but I feel like as I'm going into this next push up now, I do want to try something different. Even like I was saying to Max, right, that I really discovered that, as you know, guys, if you watch this channel, the 12 plus rep range just works for me for legs, okay? Quads, glutes, hamstrings, when I keep everything above 12 reps and I'm focused, I'm locked in, I'm super accurate in that rep range, my legs recover amazing, they grow amazing, the whole shebang. But my goal this push-up is to get strong as fuck. So I think I'm going to go back to doing some heavier reps on my legs, right? Now I will do like a very heavy set first, but then do like a much lighter, more controlled set second. But I'm going to just play around with it. I'm going to experiment with it. If I feel after a couple of weeks it's shit, I'll revert back to the 12 plus reps. But I'm probably going to do that now with a lot of my back work. And I'm definitely going to do it with a lot of my chest work, okay? Definitely going to start taking lower rep sets on my chest, even if it's like 5, 6 reppers. I'm just going to start taking them. I'm going to focus on strength. I'm really going to try and push for a lot of strength gains this time around, if I can, and hopefully stay injury free and just see what happens. So, after speaking with Max, he's like, yeah, at first set I send it 6 to 9 reps, and then after that I'll go for like a higher rep set. And I was like, yeah, maybe that's something I should try. Not that I'm just trying to copy what he's doing, but I feel like every now and again, guys, it is good to maybe try different things or switch things up. And just because something didn't work well for you in the past doesn't mean it won't work well for you in the future. I think that's kind of what I'm trying to say, because I have learned a lot in terms of training execution, mind-muscle connection. I'm a lot bigger now, I'm a lot stronger now, etc., etc. So something that might not have served me in the past, with everything that I know now and the skill I've acquired now, might actually serve me well if I went back and reverted back to that style. You just don't know, but you don't know until you try it. And that's the fun part of bodybuilding as well, isn't it? Being open to kind of trying new things, experiment with your training, experiment with, everything. So that's going to be the POA moving forward, guys. And on that bombshell, I'm going to leave this video here because that's long enough. Normally they've been 30, 40 minutes. I'm going to probably keep them to 20, 30 moving forward. Oh, tremendous decaf with a little bit of salted caramel money flavouring in there that Chloe got the other day. Chef's kiss. Anyway, guys, on that kind of training topic discussion, I'm going to kind of leave that there. If that was relatable to anyone, if anyone kind of gets what I'm trying to say, if anyone has any kind of thoughts on their own training and what's maybe worked well for them or how they've trained their training approach or whatever, drop it down below in the comments, interact, or get a discussion going. And yeah, I'm dripping, guys. I'm telling you, this vlogging, it's really taking the sweat out of me. But we'll get this video up quick, fast, guys. Probably be up on Saturday for you all. And then we'll get recording over the weekend as well, because we've got a couple of bits we need to do before we head back for the wedding next week. I need to get myself a tie. Need to actually try on my suit and make sure it fits me and it's not swinging off me, because I was a couple of kilos heavier the last time I wore it. But we'll be grand, guys. We'll be grand. So anyway, thank you very much for watching, guys. Drop a like in the video. We'll catch you in the next one.